There has been a show that has been sadly forgotten in recent times, and unfortunately, when it is talked about, it's usually in a negative way. But I want to take you back to a time when television was very different. So, television back in 2004 isn't what it is today. A lot of TV was bland, basic, safe, formulaic, always reset to the status quo. There was usually very little, if any, character development, or it was surface level, or they would say that their characters have changed so much, even though they would usually reset their characters by the end of the episode. Don't get me wrong, there were definitely exceptions, but in general, that's how it was. Just the whole huge budget TV shows with movie quality CGI and tons of character development, plot, intrigue, and just the ability to compete with big budget movies wasn't really a thing yet. But there was a show that would help shake up the industry and how we watch television forever. And that show was There are many things that make Lost a special show, like it being one of the first popular, heavily serialized show, the insane amount of character development and detail that went into the show's plot and storytelling. There are a lot of reasons why Lost is such a special show, too many to go into here, which is why I'll link a really good video that talks about why you should watch it and goes into why it's a special show. But I want to keep this video mostly about Lost's pilot and why it's amazing. Now, the first reason why Lost's pilot is amazing is because of how ambitious it was. Lost's pilot cost $10 to $14 million. That was more money spent on a pilot than any other show at the time. That's somewhat normal now, but at the time, that was considered an insane amount of cash to spend on a pilot, especially for a brand new IP. It was considered so insane at the time that it got the guy who greenlit it fired. Correction. Apparently he didn't get fired. I guess he quit over creative differences with other ABC executives or something. I guess he got fed up with them not listening to any of what he was having to say or something. Yeah, I'll link the IMDb article. Another thing that makes Lost's pilot so great is the sheer amount of foreshadowing and how much it sets up without you even noticing. There are so many things that symbolically represent what's to come / non-symbolic setups, and it manages to seamlessly integrate all of it, or at least most of it, into getting to know the characters. There's so much there that you won't realize it until you've watched the show and go back to the pilot. So Lost manages to do something very difficult, that being making people super invested from the pilot. Now, they do this by doing a few things. For one, they instantly make you curious by showing Jack waking up and wondering, who is this guy? Where is he? Why is he in the forest? Then, they later pose more questions, like who or what the hell is that giant monster-sounding thing that we don't see? Or why is there a recording of an SOS of a French woman that's been on loop for 16 years? Or why are there polar bears on the island? And the biggest question it makes the audience ask is,
guys, where are we?
So this point I'm about to make will be a little more controversial, but I think that most of the answers the show gives to the questions and mysteries are very satisfying. Unfortunately, I can't go into too much detail without spoiling a lot, but most of the questions get an explanation, or at least affect the characters in a significant way. The show will leave some things unanswered, but it does answer most things. Besides, as cool and important as the mysteries are, that's not what the show is truly about. What Lost is truly about is the characters. The pilot does a phenomenal job at introducing us to the characters. Like Jack, the first thing we see Jack do is trying to help pull people from the plane wreckage slash help the injured. We see Kate sew up Jack's wounds and he tells his speech about facing fear. We see Kate face her fear, and we see how stubborn Sawyer can be. It shows how resourceful Saeed can be. It makes you wonder who the hell that Locke guy is. The pilot does a great job in general at introducing the characters while also laying the foundation for the characters and their future arcs. Lost's pilot keeps you constantly entertained and engaged, wondering what's happening and what will happen next. By the end of the two-part pilot, you will likely be hooked on the show. Lost is an amazing show that was way ahead of its time and deserves way more credit than it's given today. If you want a more in-depth explanation of why you should watch the show, again, you should watch Drew Gooden's video on it. With that said, I ask you to please give Lost a chance. It really is a great show, all 6 seasons of it. At least give the pilot a chance. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and now, at least, hopefully you somewhat understand why